Hey guys, this is Angry Banjo here. We're doing another one of our deep dive banjo views. I'm having a hard time thinking of my words right now. We're doing another deep dive banjo view for you guys, and today we're going to review a game that I've actually never played before in my life up until a few weeks ago. And I can honestly say I didn't know what to expect. I know I get recommendations from a lot of people saying, dude, you should play this game. You like this genre so much, play this game. And when I say I haven't played this game before, I get a lot of weird looks, but it's kind of hard to tell what people are looking, like facial expressions, when everything's online and it's all done through social media. So I can't tell if they're really giving me a weird look, like a side-eye view, or if they're just kind of, messing around with me. But today we're looking at one of the greatest games in the genre of all time, and really kind of going to give you guys my thoughts. And if you guys disagree with me, you guys can, call me a freaking idiot down in the comments all you want. But today we're going to look at Chrono Trigger, and I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I've never played Chrono Trigger before. Legit, honest to God. My family, we got a Super Nintendo very late in the console's generation. We didn't really have it as a focal console for very long because we got the 64 eventually, like 2 or 3 years later. I didn't know much about games when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I could have had Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario All-Stars, Link to the Past, but instead I got fucking Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City because that's the kind of kid and parents I had. Let's be real. So I missed out on a lot of great titles back in the day, and I didn't like to say that, hey, I missed out on this title, because it makes me feel bad, because like I'm the guy that says, hey, I play a lot of JRPGs. I play a lot of these titles, and I love them. And when I say I've never played Chrono Trigger before, people just look at me weird. So we took a dive. The game was on sale on Steam. I believe the title was like $7 a few weeks back when I recorded this. And I added it to my library. I said $7, no big deal. I've heard nothing but great stuff about this game. Let's give it a try. So, about 30 to 40 hours later, in several weeks, we were actually able to finish the game for the first time ever. And I'm going to tell you guys my honest thoughts on Chrono Trigger. So first, let's pull apart the story here, guys. The story is nothing really major, nothing serious, nothing really that we need to make sure we write home about and say, oh my god, the story is so groundbreaking. It's not, but for the time, it was pretty impressive. The game starts off pretty quickly. Your character wakes up, you go to the town fair, you meet a girl, and all of a sudden she disappears into a vortex. And now here we are as the gamer, as the character, the main character, not knowing what's going on. We reopen the vortex and we go back in time. Game starts like that. No cutscenes, no real world building right there. This is a 1990s RPG, and holy shit, it feels like after playing Persona and a bunch of other more recent JRPGs going into this, it felt totally weird. I'm not gonna lie, but I liked it. It was this retro feel, and I'm sure that's not what you had when you first played Chrono Trigger. So you jump back in time. You find out that this girl that you were hanging out with is the fucking princess, and all this shit happens, and history's being rewritten. So your character, ironically, is named Chrono, spelled differently, which means time. Hello, knock knock. And your job now is to go through time and freaking save the world from the apocalypse that is eventually going to wipe out everything throughout history. So literally, you go through time, recruit people in time. You start the main character with Luca, your best friend, and Marl, the princess. And you go into the future, you get a robot, you go into the past, you get a frog dude, you go into the far past, you get a caveman lady, you go back into the same place where you get the frog, you get this like wizard dude who is time displaced, you get all this crazy shit going on through this game, and you're traveling all across the timeline in no distinct order, and it's great. The game is very linear, but you can always stop and say, I want to go to this time period, and you can go and do that, and that's what's so great about it. I really like the story ideas, and I really do wish it was a bit longer, because like I said, I spent about 40 hours in the game, and that includes about 5-10 hours of grinding, so it's not that long of a game, which doesn't surprise me, because this is a Super Nintendo JRPG. It was on a cartridge, and the cartridge didn't have a lot of data on it. so it didn't really save a lot of stuff. So it's very limited what they can do, but what they did with this game is amazing. Now, I don't know if the version I played on Steam was the Super Nintendo version, or if it was, say, the PlayStation version. It was definitely a version that, because there was anime cutscenes in it, that's why I'm saying that. An occasional anime cutscene here and there. But I gotta say though, telling the story through dialogue and text and everything like that, it didn't bother me. It just felt like a regular JRPG to me. But the thing is we're talking about this. The game still holds up. And yeah, the story is still something you don't see done in a lot of games these days. We're also talking about a game that tells its story through, you know, obviously just, you know, the text and all that fun stuff. And yeah, that's how they choose to tell a story, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same point in time, the game's graphics are dated, but it's still got this like charm to it. The Super Nintendo graphics really aged well in this case, whereas in Persona 4, the PlayStation 2 graphics don't really look the greatest. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, dude, why are you hating on Persona 4? I'm not. I'm pointing out that the graphical style of Persona 4 versus the graphical style of Chrono Trigger, it's different. One looks better than the other, and it's not anything bad. It's because that retro look that we have in Chrono Trigger is making a comeback in a lot of these big indie titles. So that's what I'm trying to say. Musically, the game score is really well done for something being on a little tiny game cartridge, mixing in the same things over and over again. That's fine, but they fit the environment that's being portrayed in the game. We're talking about you're in the past, you're in the caveman era. You're gonna get a lot of more percussion-heavy beats, and that makes sense. You're not gonna have strings. You're not gonna have, you know, keys. You're gonna have a lot of percussion-driven music, and it works, and it's great, and it's fantastic. Gameplay-wise, the game plays exactly like turn-based RPGs do play, and always have played, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's the greatest thing is this genre doesn't need to reinvent itself. Yes, different games have added, like, say, you have 4 party members, target an enemy's weakness, get additional turns, all out of text. Yes, games have added things, games have taken away things. Chrono Trigger keeps you the basics. 3-party system, have at it. You have magic skills, you have special skills, you can have dual text, triple text, where your 2 party members do a move, or 3 party members do a move, and it gets stronger as you level up. Gameplay is simple. There's not a lot of exploration that you have to worry about. There is an overworld that you can walk around to. There is no random enemy encounters. The enemies are on the map. It's all good. It's great. And you can really tell that this game is more Dragon Quest than Final Fantasy in terms of the basic design. I'm not talking because of the team, but it feels more like a Dragon Quest title because of that, the little details here and there. Now, the character designs are amazing, even though they all look like rejected Dragon Ball characters. Now, I know Akira Toriyama did all the artwork, and that's fine. Not saying anything bad about it. I love Toriyama's artwork. I love it in Dragon Quest series. I love it on Dragon Ball. I love it. It's great. But having every character look like kind of a rejected Dragon Ball character kind of does add comic value to it, but it also is kind of like disheartening at the same point in time. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a good thing, but it's not the best thing. You see what I'm saying? Now, the difficulty, I like games with a bit of a challenge. I'm not gonna lie, I do like a challenge here or there. I like when the game kind of forces you to stop, go back, and grind. I don't mind grinding. This game's combat system, the way it worked, grinding kind of got on my nerves a little bit here and there, because the experience point system wasn't how you expect it to be. Your levels matter, but they don't matter as much as your tech points. Your tech points determine the next skill you learn. So you can be level 65 and not have your best tech skills, which is terrible and frustrating for me. I didn't figure that out until later in the game. You don't have to grind as much in this game. You can get away with being level 50, level 60, because you can fight the boss at any time. There's no need to be a max level character at all if you're playing the game just normally. And I didn't realize that. I thought I wanted to be a little more stronger than the enemies because then I could just walk through it and not have to struggle. But it's not that hard of a game. Now, when the game finishes, you get one of 13 endings, and I can't believe that a game like this has 13 endings. I mean, Persona has like 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 endings. Chrono Trigger's on the Super Nintendo. 13 endings. What the hell? Get on my level, guys. I gotta say though, after literally playing I went from playing Persona 4 to playing Chrono Trigger while playing other games in between, such as Kingdoms of Amalur and eventually Ghost of Tsushima again. I gotta say, it's a nice break of pace to go from JRPG to JRPG that are different series, franchises, creators, and you can see what each franchise company does differently and does great. Chrono Trigger, though, is a dream team, super team mashup of developers and creators, and you can tell this is a project that had a lot of love and a lot of time put in it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed there's no remake, there's no major sequels to this game. It's disappointing. I really hope they do it. Give it the Final Fantasy VII treatment, but do it in the Dragon Quest XI visual style, please. Guys, I love my time in Chrono Trigger in the world of Guardia. I loved it. I didn't know what to expect since everyone was saying it was such a damn good game, and my experience, my 30 plus hours in this game was phenomenal. And if you haven't played it, check it out, please. I recommend it. I'm going to give Chrono Trigger an 8.75 out of 10. Great combat, great story, great characters. All positives. The game has aged slightly. That's a bit of a negative. It's a little too short in my opinion. That's also a negative. I like my JRPGs to be 50 plus hours, but that's just me. Definitely, guys, check it out, especially if you have a chance, if you play it on an emulator, your PC, bust out your old SNES, bust out your old PS1, even on your mobile device. Definitely. My name is BenAngerBencho. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. If you disagree with me, let me know down in the comments. If you guys want to see me play anything else on the channel, let me know. I'll see you guys later.